Okay. We are live. We are in the building. Today is November the 14th, 2022. We welcome everyone to the 411 Sports World Fantasy Football Show. I am Mr. 411 and I am flanked by the calculator.
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 411. I would say this lovely day, but it's been been gloomy all weekend, and it's a little chilly outside for the South, at least. So trying to get up the energy so we can power through this and give people information that whether it's there's some bad news on this, but we're going to try and give you some good news on top of it, and get you ready to power up because it's coming up to the home stretch, Mr. 411.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is, definitely. And that's where we are right now. Playoff stretch.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's get to it, calculator.
Excellent. Well, I started off with good news, bad news. So we'll start with bad news. Is we always have to go with injuries to what can basically going to affect your fantasy lineup. And for those, there were last minute scratches in Ezekiel Elliott and Deion Jackson, and so forth. So the people that had to make a to pivot, hope you were able to do so because we tried to tell you the last thing that this could happen. Well, the new injuries that hit this weekend. Khalil Herbert exited the game. That is a hip injury, and those are very tricky. Still, X-rays need to be taken to see what kind. Is it a minor hip injury, or is it a mid-level hip injury like Jamar Chase, 4 to 8 weeks, or is it a major Bo Jackson hip injury? That's why anytime I see hip, I always get Bo
Oh,
Jackson, in my head for some reason because he traumatized me as a kid because I loved Bo Jackson. But he exited that. I would say that's good news for David Montgomery owners. Because Khalil Herbert, not only was he stealing away from Herbert touches, he was outproducing him on more limited touches. So that a lot of people, David Montgomery. Although on the flip side, it could say that's what's David Montgomery is usually a guy that's been getting injured. But I think him limiting his touches this year has kind of helped him out. So, but workload should go up. Again, we should find out later in the week to see how many weeks. I'm almost positive he will miss it this week. So, just hold on. And again, we'll try to keep people you know updated because if it's a couple weeks, beware that the Bears bye week. They still hadn't had their bye week. And their bye week's week 14, last bye week of the year. So if it's one of those things that they just want them to get injured, get rest and get fully healthy, they might just keep them out until through the bye week. Which again, good news owners, good news for David Montgomery owners, bad news for people that wanted Khalil Herbert. Possibly, he was a spot starter, especially on heavy bye weeks. Like apparently this week is another one of those bye weeks that could be frustrating for people, people with Dolphins and Bucks and so forth. But speaking of the Buccaneers, Leonard Fournette, hip injury, kind of a surprise start. But Rashad White actually outsnapped Leonard Fournette. Almost 2-1, and it had nothing to do with the injury. Rashad White drew the start. I think
mm-hmm.
they were trying to keep Fournette kind of fresh. Believe it or not, Fournette is more of a. They were using him as a pass catching running back this past weekend, which was kind of odd. Early game at that, but then exited in the third quarter with a hip injury. Rashad White finished it out. Rashad White very successful in all his touches. So yes, Rashad White is. I mean, he's available in about 30-35% of leagues out there. So he is heavily owned for a lot of people in a lot of leagues, but more shallow leagues out there. However, if you pick up Rashad White, can't use him this week. They're on a bye. So could be that Leonard Fournette is back after the bye. We don't know. Again, like Khalil Herbert, don't know the full extent of the injury. J.D. McKissick is out today for the Commanders. Just got that on the wire. So, if you had him in there, I feel sorry. I feel bad for you anyways, because there's really no one you can pivot to, because it's pretty much going to be a Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson show out of the backfield for the Washington Commanders. To the wide receiver, Jahan Dotson, he is in for Monday Night Football. He's been out for the last few weeks on a hamstring injury. So those last minute pivots. Hey, if you had Jamie Kissick as a flex and he's out, go and see if Jahan Dawson's in there. A lot of waiver wires don't put everybody on waivers until you actually play. So, hey, Jahan Dawson might be floating out there. You can put him in there last minute. That's why you always keep that flex position open in case of stuff like this. So one of those last minute pivots you can think of. Jerry Jeudy, ankle injury, exited in the first quarter. I know this because I have him in 2 leagues, and it looked really bad. So that's bad news for Jerry Jeudy owners, good news for Cortland Sutton owners, because now they can say, okay, more, things for him. As another owner, I have Cooper Kupp and quite a few in leagues, and exited the game, and they just looked out of sort with that backup quarterback in there. Wofford, he was bad, overthrowing, and of course it was an overthrow for Cooper Kupp on the sidelines. Guy rolled up on his ankle. Luckily, initial X-rays are negative, so thus no broken leg. Because a lot of people were speculating it looked like a broken leg. No broken leg. It could be though at one of those nagging high ankle sprains, and I've reiterated on the show, unless you are DK Metcalf. High ankle sprains usually miss 4 to 6 weeks. So unfortunately, almost guaranteed he's going to miss next week, and then we'll get more and more news on how rehab's going. So prepare accordingly for Cooper Kupp missing games. Juju Smith-Schuster was just starting to heat up, got a concussion, exited the game early. And we'll talk about in the waiver wire what that means for the waiver wire. But he, again, exited early, even though he was starting to hit his stride with the Kansas City Chiefs. But again, Hamler didn't play for the Broncos. Hardeman, surprise scratch on Thursday from an abdomen injury. No word on when he'll come back. Keelan Allen, just strike him out for another 2 to 3 weeks easy. Mike Williams was actually seen warming up before the Sunday night game, so he could actually be back a week earlier than what they initially thought, which is why I believe the Chargers did not place him on IR when he initially got the injury. Russell Gage was still out. Josh Reynolds out. I'm thinking Jamar Chase. He got a bye week, but since he wasn't on IR, he could be back after one more week, because you have to do the 4 minimum games rather than 4 weeks, so that bye week wouldn't count towards a IR slot. So it might have been saying, hey, we just want to keep him out 3 weeks, work the weekend. They were thinking a 4-week injury, so that would put him on back, not for this week, but the next week. Romeo Dobbs, 1 week into his ankle injury, but they say 2 to 6 weeks. So, don't expect him anytime soon. Hunter Renfrow placed on IR. So that will definitely go into a guy I will mention that could be available in your league. Gerald Everett exited the game. He was off to a great start at the tight end position. Exited the game, groin injury. So that's groin injuries are known as day to day, which is better than week to week. So we'll see how he starts with limited practices, if he gets any limited practices in throughout this week. Zach Ertz. This is a multiple week injury. This could be, in my opinion, probably a season ender, especially if what it looks like the Cardinals are going to be out of the playoff race. No need to get him back if they're not going to need him. Jelani Woods did not play. David Njoku, making everybody happy, thinking everybody, oh, I'm back early. No, he did not play. And Bryant for his replacement got a touchdown as an off week. So I think they're good with the go. And I don't know why they waited so long, but now Darren Waller is placed officially on IR. So he was placed on IR this week. So definitely he's going to miss the next 3 weeks as well. Colt McCoy, surprise start, because I didn't know that Murray was hurt. So they held Murray out due to a hamstring. Colt McCoy left. And then guess what? He came back. And then guess what? He left again. So, hey, just stay away from all Arizona. Although with Colt McCoy in there, those guys looked really good. I mean, they went and they took it to the Rams. So I was impressed with how Colt McCoy handled that. And Matt Stafford, concussion, he's got to pass protocol, and did not play. And with that offensive line, I don't think the Rams are going to take any chances. So those are the injuries for now, Mr. 4-1. Back to you.
Oh man, calculator. All right. So those are the injuries that we have in the league. And then, man, we have the studs and duds, man. So we're gonna transition over to studs and duds. So let's get everything up and rolling here. All right, let's start off with the good stuff, calculator. Let's start off with the studs. All right, and we'll go with let's start with Thursday. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, and this was a crazy thing right here, because you see a field goal kicker. What was amazing about that field goal kicker is getting those field goals in the weather that was out there. This was a rainy, windy day, but Pinheiro was nailing them through. Laviska Chenault Jr. did his best Cordell Patterson impersonation and took a little screen pass. And I say a screen pass, but it counted as a rush because he caught it behind the yards. That's why PJ Walker didn't get no fantasy points for it. But Chenault took it to the house, and London. Drake London got that last second touchdown, which saved Marcus Mariota's day, because Marcus Mariota, with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Marcus Mariota had under 100 yards passing. And then he just went right down the field on that last, and that's how he went 86 yards on that one drive to get a touchdown. And you see the 43 yards. Devontae Foreman, he owns the Falcons. And with that game script, Deontay Foreman should have been an automatic start. But do not get excited, folks. He is only usable when it's a favorable game script and they can be competing with the team they're about to compete. That is the Falcons' soft rush defense. Devontae Foreman gets the Baltimore, a rested Baltimore Ravens defense next week. So Foreman, again, you might not have any things with 4 teams on a bye. So, but I would not trust. And Hubbard was out. Hubbard was actually healthy and he played. Oh, Christian Watson, mercy.
Go ahead.
You gave me a little heart attack, Mr. 4-1, because I got goosebumps when I saw Christian Watson. He actually was a wide receiver that created separation finally for Aaron Rodgers. And what's crazy is Christian Watson dropped his first 2 passes that Aaron Rodgers gave him. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers said, golly, the guy's always open. I'm going to keep. And guess what? He rewarded him. And not 1, not 2, but the hat trick for all those soccer fans out there, the hat trick of touchdowns for Christian Watson. Welcome to the NFL, Mr. Watson.
Yes, sir.
And here's
some more studs out there.
Justin Fields. Wait, we said on this show he's gonna have a good game. He was so good. Lacey took him as her quarterback. She took him over Josh Allen as a quarterback in the mini draft because Justin Fields has been straight money. And it's not just rushing or passing, it's all of the above. And not only does he get the rushing, he gets the big rushing. So I'm actually in a league that Justin Fields is my quarterback.
Put them together.
Mercy, yeah. That was a great day, right? But yeah, Justin Fields, those 69 run was great. And Justin Fields, it is great when he's playing in shootouts because that's when they need him the most. CeeDee Lamb looked good. He was the apple of Dak Prescott's eyes, and since that looked like it was pretty much CeeDee Lamb and Dawson Schultz and nobody else. Well, Pollard was there too. He was a good rusher. But Justin Jefferson, probably one of the best catches of the year to pull out that stunning victory over the Bills. If you have not seen that, just Google it and you will see why that is the catch of the year. And Christian Kirk, I tell you, it was the thing. There it is. See, we the producer was already ready for it, Mister 411. He had it
That's
ready.
right.
That was phenomenal. But
We pay them
as
big
best I
bucks,
can,
calculator.
that's right. That's right. It was one of those things where it was OBJ, except he grabbed it from a defender, OBJ style, and then basically snatched it while he's on the ground without the ball touching the ground. It was an amazing catch, and he's the reason they beat the Bills. I mean, that was it right there. That one catch, that and Josh Allen fumbling the ball in the end zone, which is inexcusable. But yeah, some great. Another guy that's not on this list, Kelsey. He had a great game from the tight end position. One of the few, Dawson Schultz, a great tight end this past weekend. Cole Kmet, one of the apple of Justin
Again.
Fields' eye. I mean, yes, did it again. Another two touchdown game, and yours truly. I actually did the Fields Kmet stack in one of my daily fantasy leagues, and it rewarded me with a 10-time payout on a little $10 parlay. So I was very thankful for Fields and Kmet because I saved money on both of them. Because believe it or not, Fields wasn't as expensive as Patrick Mahomes, but he was scoring. He was the highest scoring quarterback again for the week. And then Cole Kmet was the highest scoring tight end. Kelsey was number 2. But yeah. Great times by Amon St. Brown. Great game against. We knew that would probably happen against another shootout in the Bears. I'm just thinking of these other studs right off the top of my head. Barkley.
Yeah.
Hey, he was one of our top running backs draft day. If you look at our running back draft day preview, we were really high on Barkley this year. We noted the improvement of the offensive line, the new focus with a new coach in town. Hey, he had over 30. He had 30 plus carries. Now that could say, oh my gosh, that's going to wear him out. Well, right now we'll take what we can get.
That's right. We worried about 2022 right now.
Yeah, yeah. So I would like to actually see more passes, but hey, they were having such success on the ground. Why put the ball in the air when you didn't have to? So Barkley with another solid game, and people that but if you want to go to the duds, Mr. 401, we could probably talk
Well,
all.
okay. Well, look, we talk about the studs. We're going to switch over to the duds, and then after that, there's a question that needs to be posed to you,
Okay.
and all for the listeners as well. And then we also have a comment that's back there in the queue that we're going to get out there as well. So, but right now we'll go ahead and transition and take care of the duds. And guess what, calculator? I've just been informed that there's another surprise coming today. So everybody needs to stay tuned. There is a
Oh,
surprise coming today and
hey,
very soon, probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes.
I love surprises, Mr. 411. But the duds, yes, Alvin Kamara. Now I'm gonna say DJ Moore and Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna move that to the dud list based on the weather and the situation. Don't I think DJ Moore, believe it or not, I'm gonna have DJ Moore as a start against the Ravens this upcoming week. Because they're not going to be able to run on the Ravens. They're going to be in pass catch-up mode. The Hurricane will not be rolling through at the time. So I actually like DJ Moore next week against your Ravens. I actually started in a league. I was able to pick up Dalton Schultz in a league that I had Kyle Pitts, and I did it at the last minute because Dalton Schultz, I saw that he was dropped on his bye week. I picked him up because I was a Pitts owner and because I like Dalton Schultz with Dak Prescott as his quarterback. So yes, but Kyle Pitts will probably be thrown back in there if they are inside in a favor. Well, although I don't know what kind of, there is no game script that helps Kyle Pitts, but believe it or not, he does leave tight ends and air yards. He just has a terrible quarterback throwing him the ball for some reason. Chris Olave, he actually had 2 drops. So that his drops actually put him on the dud list. I'm waiting for Jameis Winston to come back. Jameis Winston's actually healthy right now, so I don't know why they keep throwing a Dalton out there. I love Andy Dalton a bunch. But I love Andy Dalton when all my other quarterbacks are hurt, and Winston is supposed to be our starter and healthy, and I don't understand that. And I think that, as you can see, could be affecting Alvin Kamara. They have nobody respecting the pass, so they can just gang up. David Montgomery, I think a lot of that was Khalil Herbert was very productive in his touches, and that's what put David Montgomery on the dud list. Believe it or not, Derrick Henry. He's not on this list, but he's on my dead list because I thought he was going to be very successful. But it goes to show you when they get all their touchdowns via the air, that affects Derrick Henry because he's not a pass catcher. He's not going to catch it once. And if you don't get that touchdown, Derrick Henry's getting you under double digits, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, considering what he does. Dalvin Cook, he was a stud last week, and I wanted to. I failed. Oh, another one I failed to me. Mr. 4-1, you forgot to chat me. Jonathan Taylor, welcome to the party.
Welcome back.
Hey, I got to go back to the studs, folks, and cheer for all the people that were just hating on Jonathan Taylor. Folks, when Matt Ryan is the quarterback and Jonathan Taylor is healthy, Jonathan Taylor is a good fantasy option, folks. Oh, man, and he was so cheap. And you will see him in a lot of winning daily fantasy leagues because Jonathan Taylor was so cheap and he showed up. But that's the key. If Matt Ryan starts, Jonathan Taylor is a must start. Hey, I'm a Jonathan Taylor owner in the listener league. I'm going to speak as a Jonathan Taylor owner. I was more excited than him. I know friend of the show, Larry, was not very happy that Jonathan Taylor came back because he was my opponent this week. But Jonathan Taylor, he is a thing. And, that's gonna actually hurt all those other Indianapolis Colt running backs like the Deion Jackson. He might not be rushed back from injury if you have Jonathan Taylor that can handle. Jonathan Taylor handled 92% of offensive snaps. That is unheard of for running
gold.
back.
That is gold right there.
That is, especially in in our type of league format that rewards carries. I mean, it gets no better than that. And that just goes to show me that extra rest really benefited Jonathan Taylor. So I really like that.
Yes, sir. All right, calculator. Here's the question. All right, this is all on YouTube. All in the promotion for this show today. Who has been the biggest surprise in fantasy?
Justin Fields is the biggest surprise. We saw in the first 2 games of this year, new coaching staff, it looked like they were running that wing T out there, and the wing T, and Justin Fields wasn't even carrying the ball. He gave it to Khalil, he gave it to Montgomery, he handed it off to those. They were doing those ends arounds, and they looked terrible. But when they unleashed Justin Fields in that Washington Commander game, and the reason I remember that, Mr. 4-1, is because I was like that guy that was trying to find that Thursday night game when I got back from Disney World and realized, oh, my bad, it's on Amazon. So I had to boot up my computer after I just spent all day in Universal to see. And Justin Fields, it was his coming out party. He was throwing the ball, he was running the ball, should have won the game. He had that touchdown pass that was on the half line, but that was his breakout game. And then he followed it up with a big game at New England, huge game at Dallas, a huge game the week before, and a huge game against Detroit. I mean, Justin Fields is the biggest because people can't say he was drafted. I am in a 12-person, yes, it's only a 14 roster league, but a 12-person league that don't have defenses. Justin Fields was on the waiver wire 3 weeks ago, and I picked him up, and I am now back in the playoff race with 3 straight wins, thanks to Justin Fields. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 wins and a tie. I tied with the second most points in my league last week. I'm sorry, folks. But yeah, Justin Fields, the biggest surprise in fantasy football. And I don't think it's even close. I mean, you could think of other guys that you got off the waiver wire, but Justin Fields, he's on his way to being a top 3 quarterback on the year. I'm talking about he's ahead of Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he's ahead of think about it. Was he drafted ahead of Tom Brady? No. Was he drafted ahead of Matthew Stafford? No. Was he drafted? He went. Trey Lance was drafted ahead of Justin Fields for crying
Yeah.
out loud. So yes, Justin Fields is the biggest surprise. And if you either picked him up, I'm so thankful I can show print screens of people. I was able to draft him in a 5-person keeper league in the 9th round. So I only have to give up a 6th round pick next year if I want to keep him on my league. So yes, he was available. Yeah, he was undrafted in some leagues, and I was able to give him a 9th person in a 5-person keeper league. So don't. I don't want people to come and say I drafted him. You didn't draft him in the 5th round. I want to see print screens when people come and say that.
Yeah, show the proof. But look, it's that proverbial switch that it seems like it's hitting right now, because at one point in time he was dead in the water. Justin Fields was dead in the water, and now all of a sudden he's a fantasy monster. You know what I'm saying? So, but we do have a question, all right, and it's about Justin Fields' rival. Okay, and we spoke on this wide receiver earlier, Christian Watson. So, Matt, it looks like it's called Mo Diesel. We appreciate Mo Diesel for tuning in, posting the comment, and and hitting that notification button and everything. And Mr. Diesel, please share with all your fantasy family out there for us. Share the 401 Sports World on YouTube. We thank you. Here's a question from Mo Diesel. Do I waste my waiver wire number 1 on Christian Watson, or do you start Allen Robinson? And it's a half PPR league, and this is next week.
And I'll tell you why I'm not burning number 1 waiver priority, because I actually have Allen Robinson higher in my personal rankings than Christian Watson next week, and it is initial rankings, but that is because Cooper Kupp's out. When you take a guy that has garnered almost 40% of targets out of the offense, Allen Robinson's the next man up. Tyler Higbee, I have him in the top 3 tight ends for the next few weeks as long as Cooper Kupp is out. Even though I don't like the quarterback situation, I love Allen Robinson this upcoming week. So yes, hey, I don't burn number 1 waiver priority on a Christian Watson, because we've seen what he can. He's very injury prone. Heck, he left the game he scored 3 touchdowns to go into the blue tent, and he came back out and he was fine. So, but what I'm saying is, all it takes is 1 concussion. He's had 2 concussions already. He's been in concussion protocol 2 times. If he gets any sign of concussion, he's automatically ruled out of the game, and then you're stuck with anything. Allen Robinson, I like Allen Robinson for his short-term availability because of the target share that's going to be coming his way in the near future. Now, if you again, I would not burn a top 3 waiver priority on Christian Watson 4 and back. Yes, I would like Christian Watson to see what he can do. Because, hey, what happened when Mr. 411, what happened when all those people was wasting their priority on Romeo Dubs? What happened? Out. Concussion. Or no, I'm sorry, he had an ankle injury, so he's out for multiple weeks. We've seen it. Number 1 waiver priority is crucial at this time of the year, because you don't, hey, what if Fournette, is Rachaad White available in this particular league? That's what you use. You use top 3 waiver priorities on running backs that can step into the starting role if an injury comes to one of these running backs that have. Hey, God forbid, because I'm a Joe Mixon owner in one league, Samaje Perine. We'll just say theory. If Samaje Perine is out there, Joe Mixon gets hurt next week. If somebody's not picking up Samaje Perine, you have that number 1. You can block somebody from getting Samaje Perine. So yes, top 3 waiver priorities. I save them for those backup running backs that could be vaulted into Alexander Madison if he's available in your league and stuff like that. Stuff like that is what you use a top 3 waiver priority. I do not like it on receivers, especially if I have somebody like Allen Robinson who's going to see a big increase. In my opinion, he's going to at least double his target share in the near future. Because it's him and Higbee. You have Skronik and you have the Williams guy their running back that came off. They said they're going to be using him for targets out of the backfield. But yeah, I really like, and I'm very bullish on Allen Robinson. So like I said, if this was another name, I still might do it, Might not do it because, again, I don't like top three waiver priorities at this time of year when I can use those on running backs that could get starting situations, because this is, I mean, injuries can happen left and right coming up, in playoff time, and that's when you need those high weight. That's when top waiver priorities come in handy.
All right, thank you, and thank you, Mo Diesel,
Yes, thank you,
for the
Mo,
question.
for your question. I appreciate we appreciate that, and it
All
makes us
right,
think too. So I like that.
very good question. All right, I did mention that there was a surprise today, and so we're going to go ahead and roll that surprise out. All right, you mentioned earlier the catch of the day calculator, and courtesy of Fox, guess what we have?
2 minutes left in a 4-point game. Kirk Cousins back to throw on 4th and 18. He's given time. He wants Jefferson. Climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson pulled it in. The catch of his life keeps the Vikings' hopes alive. There's no way.
We had a catch earlier this game by Stephon Diggs, one-handed going up. That has been replaced by Justin Jefferson's catch, especially with what was at stake.
An all-timer for Jefferson, and now it's Thielen. On time from Cousins. A flag down on top of it. Benford ripped him out, and a flag flew in at the last moment. But we got to look back at this.
How does he maintain?
How does it not touch the ground, Mr. Forward? That is, I mean, you're falling and you're able to he's able to have his elbow literally keep his hands off the ground while and the defender had two hands on the ball, which is what's so crazy.
Yes.
So that was just amazing. And then, Jefferson and Cousins said, okay, I'm not going to Thielen. I'm not throwing to anybody else, although he did throw another pass later in the game in overtime, or before. I'm sorry, it wasn't about to go into overtime. They were trying to get that touchdown to win the game, and Dalvin Cook straight dropped the ball. But yeah, when he threw it to Jefferson was coming down with that ball no matter what. It was that was still amazing, and I was very fortunate that I was watching that game as it was going on. And that game from beginning to end was bonkers. Is all I can
Yeah,
say.
that was a wild game, man. If you was a fan of either team, you definitely was falling out of your chair. You know, especially the last 2 minutes of that game. It was just so much going on, but it was entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
I'm definitely glad I'm not a fan of either team. So no matter how the outcome was of that game, I was going to be okay. Now it was unfortunate for my Seahawks today, Sunday, falling short to Tampa. But hey, what do you say there? All right,
yeah.
but guess what, calculator? Let's go ahead because we have the waiver wire to cover. We have
Yes.
listener league, and we have the mini draft. So let's get to the wire.
Okay, and the waiver wire is going to be extremely important this week because we got 4 teams on the bye. Jaguars, so you have your Christian Kirks and your ETNs, on a bye. The Dolphins, man, how many fantasy people they got on their team? So the Waddles, the Tuas, the Tyreek Hills, the Mustards, the Wilson. I mean, you have a bunch of people that are on buys for the Dolphins. Your Seahawks, hey, Geno Smith's been starting for people a lot this year. So you have him with Metcalf and Lockett that are on a bye. Walker the third out, and then of course the Bucks with the Tom Brady owners, the Leonard Fournette, the Rachaad White owners, I can say. But Godwin had a great game. He's going to be out, and Mike Evans. A lot of people out there, and unfortunately, I don't have really any running backs. The running back. Whoever just do the Rams guy, because it's off the top of my head. He just come back from IR, but he's a guy. He actually had more snaps than Cam Akers. He was right behind Darrell Henderson Jr. So if you're really desperate, that guy is a guy to target. But the ones I really like. We had a great comment, so I was really appreciative. It's Christian Watson. He's actually number 1 on my list. I appreciate this list, Mr. Forewoman. But I'm going to stay right now. And the Rachaad White again. If you pick up Rachaad White, he's the number 1 overall. because he's a great guy to have. But the reason he's number one is the running back. However, what hurts you this week is they're on a bye week. But hey, that might help you be able to get him. But I actually have him number one overall. I actually have Christian Watson as number two. Hey, Watson, he's had a lot of trouble staying healthy this rookie season, but he stayed on the field, made a couple early drops. But hey, 100 yards. Second round rookie caught 4 of a team high 8 passes thrown his way, 107 yards, the hat trick, which is 3 touchdowns, massive showing. He's not going to catch 3 touchdowns every week, but he's probably the most talented receiver on the Packers. And hey, he could be the second half breakout as Aaron Rodgers I go to since Romeo Doubs is all. Put it this way, Romeo Doubs hurt, Alan Lazard old, Randall Cobb old, Sammy Watkins old and washed up. So yeah, Christian Watson is definitely a guy that could, but I really like Foster Moreau. He's actually my top tight end option. And the reason I love Foster Moreau, Darren Waller, IR, Hunter Renfrow, IR, Matt Collins, really not that good. So, I mean, Foster Moreau, in my opinion, is the second best catcher on that thing behind Devontae Adams. So what are teams going to do? They're going to triple team Devontae Adams at least. And for Foster Moreau had a touchdown, should have had a second touchdown at the end of that game, but it went right through his hand. It's kind of a pretty good defensive play by the Colts safety. But still, yeah, David Carr, don't mind going him. Love Kadarius Toney as well, another wide receiver option. Hey,
he looks like a stud.
He does, but again, it's this trouble staying healthy. But folks, I'm telling you, the reason he wasn't healthy is because he didn't want to play with the Giants. We all know as soon as he was traded to the Chiefs, he was all of a sudden a model of health, right? Hey, and I think it was a breakout this Sunday. As soon as Juju Smith-Schuster was out there, hey, it wasn't quite as impressive as Watson, but he played half of the Chiefs snaps despite missing Hardman, not to mention Juju leaving early. But hey, he showed upside. He was third on the team with 5 targets, turned him into 4 catches, 57 yards, and a little skipping touchdown on one leg, which was pretty awesome. Yeah. Chiefs injury, at wide receiver is all over. We talked about the abdomen for Hardman. We talked about concussion. Hey, heck, even Martez Valdez-Scantling left briefly Sunday with an injury. Toney should continue to see his role grow and could be a must-start fantasy option in what is a pass-heavy option. Okay, Isaiah Pacheco, folks, I ain't touching any Chiefs quarterback, but again, we heard what people are on a bye week. Another guy that you might want to pivot if Isaiah Pacheco and CEH isn't out there. Hey, get McKinnon out there. At least he's out there for all passing downs currently. So those are those guys you only get if you are desperate at a running back. Okay, what I like about Donovan Peoples-Jones, right? Peoples-Jones doesn't have the pedigree of a Christian Watson or a Toney, but he's actually done more at the NFL level, which is at least 71 receiving yards in 4 straight games, 5 of his past 6, including 99 on 5 catches this past Sunday. And guess what? Deshaun Watson is coming back in week 13, so it's not out of the question that Peoples-Jones could emerge as a must-start fantasy option. Okay, I'm going to tell people to hold on Isaiah Likely. Very talented, but all words is that Mark Andrews is back, and the bye week, him being held out before the bye week, increased to him to be almost 100%. Again, Deshaun Watson coming back week 13. That is a guy that he's going to be in plenty of shootouts. So he will definitely air the ball. But yeah, and I want to say another one that's not on this list, but I want people to look at. It's a favorite of Lacey. She loves Nico Collins for the Houston Texans, folks. Collins is definitely a low man on the hierarchy, and he could be tough to trust if you need to. But he returned from it. He was out with a groin injury, right? But he caught 5 passes, 49 yards, and a touchdown against the Giants while leading the team. He had 10 targets, folks. With Brandon Cooks disgruntled and continuing to struggle, Collins could very well be the Texans' top option moving forward. He looks like a wide receiver 3. You'd hope. Whereas there's more upside than for people that lost a Cooper Kupp, that lost, we talked about the injury and we talked about the bye. If you have a Waddle, a Tyreek Hill, and all those people out, hey, I could trust Nico Hollins if I have to, And one last thing, I'm going to go to the only reason I'm doing this is because Matt Ryan's back in the fold. It's Paris Campbell, folks. Hey, Campbell doesn't have as much upside as the other receivers we just talked about, but he's a big beneficiary of the Colts going back to Matt Ryan. Campbell has 32 targets over his past 3 games with Ryan at quarterback, turning them into 24 catches, 203 yards, and a touchdown in each game. Ryan's lack of mobility means he can turn to Campbell on the short targets due to a struggling offensive line. So, hey, as long as Matt Ryan is out there, I can trust Paris Campbell out there as a bye week / flex type fill in for your rosters for all those people. Again, the bye week, we have 6 receivers on bye, 6 starting one wide receiver ones out this week, and a couple other due to injuries. So Paris Campbell is definitely a guy you can probably turn to last minute.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And look, you have 2 Watsons out there now. So if you're lucky enough on the waiver wire, you can have Watson to Watson connection.
There you go. There you go.
Absolutely. And welcome back, Watson. Welcome back to the NFL.
Oh my goodness,
Watson.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome back. It's
Yes.
static. It's ecstatic to have him back. All right, calculator.
Yes, yeah.
It's time to transition to our listener league. We'll get the producers to get everything lined up and together. Okay. But in the meantime, Elver Gachot, please let me know if I pronounced that correctly. Elver Gachot has a question. We love people who hit that like, subscribe, the notification button, share, and comment.
League.
And we thank Elver. Would you trade Aaron Jones and Taysom Hill for Mark Andrews?
I would not.
In a standard league.
And a standard league actually makes Mark Andrews more valuable. So I can understand that being a factor. However, Aaron Jones is a top 10 option. Yes, it's not PPR league. So in PPR league, he's almost top. But when he's out there, he can still score touchdowns. So yes, it's hard to trust him because he's not going to get as many touchdowns, but he's still going to get you yards. And now, is standard. I mean, I'm assuming this says standard and not touchdown only. Touchdown only. Of course, it's Mark Andrews. But if it's standard, that usually means 1 point for every 10 yards and so forth. So Aaron Jones is still going to get the counting stats from that. So that's why. But and Elver, we can get you a tight end to fill in for somebody like Taysom Hill, who has been disappointing. Yet, I started Otten in an injury. Go and see if Njoku's out there. Somebody might, if they don't have IR spots, he might be floating out there. We had Hayden Hurst. Foster Monroe, folks, is out there in a lot of leagues. So, yes, we can get – hey, Elver, you keep listening to the show, and we will navigate you through. But hold on to Aaron Jones.
All right. Thank you, Elver, for your comment, your questions. And participating, watching us, and supporting us. We really appreciate that.
Yes, I'd rather navigate trying to fill that tight end spot than trying to get a top 10 running back in there week after week.
Absolutely. All right. Feel free to go to this show. It'll be on YouTube. You can go to the comment section. You can continue to post questions there, even when this show is over. Continue to do that. We take it out.
Please.
We look at it every day, and we'll
love questions.
Mm-hmm. All right. Listener league calculator.
Yes. I'm not going to. I was fortunate to play Larry, who unfortunately had a last-second quarterback issue where Murray was declared unexpectedly out. So Larry was unfortunately able to fill the quarterback position. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunately for me. I was thankful, but I really think I would have won this anyways. I mean, I had a very good week with the return of Jonathan Taylor with a great performance with Dalvin Cook. I told people in this listener league I was going to score over 130 points after my last bye week, because I had all my bye weeks early. I said, I'm going to have it. I knew Jonathan Taylor would come back eventually, but yes. So, I'm keeping it true, and I'm coming for you, Mr. Camel Clutch, Mr. 411, because it looks like the Grit Splits got the most of you, but I want to, but I'm going to pull up your roster.
Go into
because
yes,
I
go in
want
there.
to show people.
Because that's self-infliction.
Well, it wasn't self-infliction, but look, we talked about Donovan Peoples-Jones. Folks, Mr. 411, that's why we need you to subscribe, like, notify. So if you're in another league, you can get a Donovan Peoples-Jones. Mr. 411 showed you. See, if you look at his bench player, Mr. 411 has some bye weeks, right? So he said, hey, what can I do out there? He can put Donovan Peoples-Jones, but, Matt Collins over. Hey, I'm not going to fault you for I'm not going to fault you for the Gabriel Davis sit. I sat Gabriel Davis in 3 leagues because I thought Casey Keenum. Put it this way, we didn't know Josh Allen was starting until 30 minutes before kickoff. Yes, he was activated an hour before kickoff, but when they showed shots, Josh Allen wasn't even out there warming up. Casey Keenum was out there warming up. I said, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And because I overreacted like a sane person would. Case Keenum doesn't throw deep, which that is Gabriel Davis's bag. So hey, I thought you not one bit because I have Gabriel Davis in 3 leagues and I sat him in every league this for one. So I'm not thoughting you, but hey, I love the Peoples-Jones guy on your roster. And you don't worry, you don't have to start David Carr. Although David Carr, not a bad week to use it when he gets you 20 points. But Olave, 2 big drops that hurt you. But we talked about the Derrick Henry. That is that you're going to live by Derrick Henry. You're going to die by Derrick Henry. If he doesn't get that touchdown, he's going to hurt you because that's where most of his points are. I mean, because he's not going to get it through the passing game. ETN, which was kind of what was odd was how the Jacksonville played that game. I saw way too many JaMychal Hasty's out there for ETN owners. So hey, we might want to add JaMychal Hasty to our waiver wire because if he's out there, he got a lot more run. And if you have one of those guys on a bye week and you got all those injuries, you might put JaMychal Hasty's on your list and pick him up there because he got almost 40% of snap count in what was a negative game script. So hey, take that for what it was because ETN's supposed to be the pass catcher as well. But hey, you ran into a buzzsaw. This was probably one of Grit Splits. He just 27.6 points from Devontae Adams and Geno Smith, 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. They call that the garbage time extraordinaire. Unfortunately, you were on the wrong side of that. But another interesting game. Carter's Peanuts, Lacey. She's got to come back. They're projecting her to win. Carter's Peanut is finished right now, but Lacey with her 40 points by Patrick Mahomes. Lacey, I know you keep bemoaning me about Dalvin Cook, but every time I'm looking at you, you're getting 40 points from your quarterback in that deal. But what hurt her is Kareem Hunt. But if you look at her, she really didn't have anywhere to go. She actually made a strong thing. But see, another sharp player. She's got Rachaad White. He's not available in our league, Mr. 411. But Lacey, Cole Kmet. She did it again, Mr. 411. Last minute pickup of Cole Kmet. And folks, why she got Cole Kmet? Because she actually is on this show and we said Cole Kmet, pick him up last call. She picked him up and got it. So yes, congratulations. We're sorry, Carter's Peanuts, that we gave Lacey advice that she beat you. C-Town Ballers. What a game. That was the game of the week. Close. I mean, when you have 133 like captain, and you lose 147, you just got to say, hey, I played the wrong guy on the wrong week. But look at the returning champion. Get this, everyone. He's won 2 in a row. He started 0-7. He is about to be 3-0, scored another 160 points. He is on the march. I think like old Jack Nicholson did back in his day. See, Tiger Woods play from ahead. He was the best closer in college. What people don't understand is Jack Nicholson, for those old people that watch golf, he was the marcher. He loved to play from behind, and those people would shake in their boots when they saw Jack Nicholson climbing up the leaderboard and say, oh my God. And that's how he won most of his majors, was coming up on that last day. So that's what the talented Mr. Really, he's trying to make the people in front of him hear the footsteps, so to speak. But yes, talented Mr. Ripley, 1-2 in a row, will be 3 in a row after this one. Beat the number 2 team in the league. So it looks like if you project, Camel Clutch, it looks like you will be in first place next week. You will have a game lead on me. It looks like I will
Good.
jump ahead of Chuck Speeds based on points. Hey, me and you going for high points there, Mister 411s or Camel Clutch, however you want me
Yeah,
to
for the
address
league,
you
for the
on the show.
season.
Yeah. So I gotta catch you because if we get a tie, I need the tiebreakers. So hopefully I should catch you in total
Yeah.
points this week, based on how projections are showing. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be it was another good week in the listener league, and hey, everybody keeps playing hard. Are
Yeah,
you ready to
yeah,
go to? Are
absolutely. I
you
thought I
ready
was
to
gonna be
go
able
to
to
your?
get a little separation there late in the season, but didn't work out that way, calculator. All
Yeah.
right. Appreciate the recap there for the listener league. We got to go through the world's fastest mini draft as we have about 10 minutes remaining in the show. So as calculator
Yeah,
is
I'm trying
working
to. I
on
had
the
the wrong wheel of names
information for the
calculator. So
mini draft.
yes, I apologize to our
Okay.
audience. But while I pull it up, do you want to explain the mini draft and how for the new listeners?
Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Mini draft is it consists of our panel. So you haven't seen Captain Cosmo in a while, but he's doing fine. He's still around. So it's Captain Cosmo, it's the calculator, it's Lacey Dawson at Mr. 411. What we do is spin the wheel of names. That is our draft order. So we
Mm-hmm.
go who has the first pick, second, third, and fourth, as you'll see here. And then as we get our draft order, then we will draft in snake format 1 to 4, 4 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 1 until each one of us draft a quarterback, a tight end, running back, and a wide receiver. We will use for scoring our scoring system in the listener league, which is a PPR, which is point per reception league. And also we have 0.25 per carry. We like to give the running back some love, especially those workhorse backs. Separate the men from the boys, if you will, with the running game. And who has the first pick, calculator?
I actually have the first pick, and I'm updating
All right.
our thing. 411, you have the second pick, and we will see who brings up the
All
rear
right.
with 3. And like you were telling listeners, I pulled up the default projections from the thing, so it's almost like me and 411 are going against the computers this week. So Captain will be getting the highest thing, and then Lacey is bringing up the rear. But what has been a popular pick, and I'm going to do it again, Mr. 411, is I'm getting Kelsey with the number
Uh-oh.
1 pick because
Yes, that's a good
we
move.
see,
It's a good move.
yeah. So I got to go with Kelsey on that.
Okay, with the number
Okay,
one
so
pick, Kelsey. And guess what? We are playing for something too, ladies and gentlemen. We're playing for a
yes,
juicy steak dinner. Catered by Angelica. Angelica R. Roberts, 478-396-2810. That's 478-396-2810. Angelica Roberts, catered food by Angelica. So the winner is going to get a nice juicy steak dinner, loaded baked potato, and everything else you want on the side there, a side salad. It's going to be great for who wins because
Mhm.
they do great work over there at Catered by Angelica. All right,
Yeah,
it's time for 401 to make his pick.
411 needs to
Go
make the
ahead.
pick. Well, no, you got picked. I already picked Kelsey.
Okay, you pick Kelsey. So
Mhm.
now it's time for 401 to make his pick. Got to get into let's see, we're going to look at week 11, see how we can make a move here. Wow, this is a tough one. Okay, I'll tell you what. It's this is tough. I'll tell you what, just looking at the situation right now, kind of going through the schedule, I'm going with Jalen Hurts.
Good pick, Mr. 411. And for captain, I'm going to stay in the quarterback. And believe it or not, in our league, again, remember, a lot of the running quarterbacks are higher value because of that
Mhm.
0.25 for carries. And the highest standard score this week, I'm going to give the quarterback to captain because usually captain, he loves those quarterbacks. I'm going to give him Lamar Jackson at that.
Yeah,
Okay. And
I hope he
then
does well.
Yes. And then Lacey, hey, I'm just going to give her favorite running back for one of her favorite teams. And no, I don't mean Michael Carter for the Jets. I'm going to go with the other New York team. I'm going to give her Saquon Barkley, who is the
Yeah.
top valued um, uh, running back this week. And then I'm going to give her the top wide receiver in Stephon Diggs.
Okay. Ooh, she's gonna have a monster week here.
Looking like, and congrats to Lacey. She didn't have the computer pick for her last week. She picked it herself, and she won last week. There's no way we can catch her. The only person that can catch her is captain, but he has Jalen Hurts and Goddard, but he's 70 points behind. So I don't think there's going to be a 35-35 score. So I've already put Lacey pretty much in that. So captain, I'm going to go to. I'll give him a wide receiver, and I'll give him the second one is Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver.
Okay. And just a quick recap now. Barkley is on Lacey's team, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you see? Are you able to see the spreadsheet?
Well, Mr. Foreman's vision is not the best right now.
Okay.
So
okay. I was just making
trying to
sure
go off what I hear.
Okay, I was just making sure I had it.
Yeah, he's in constant communication with the producing team. So with the production team. So
and don't forget, no Tyreek Hill, no Waddle, none of your Ken Walker the third. I know you love your Seahawks. You won it with the Seahawks stack one time. Almost won it. Got second place that week. And no, Brady, Godwin, or Evans. But yeah, your pick. You need a wide receiver. You need a running back, a wide receiver, or tight. It's wide open because you already got your quarterback, but 2 wide receivers have been taken. So do keep that in mind.
All right, 2 have been taken. Running back. Okay,
only one running back.
Chase. Let's go with Chase.
Jamar Chase.
Yes, Jamar Chase, wide receiver.
Well, he's still questionable, so he might not play.
Oh, he is.
Injury.
Oh,
yes,
he's still out. Okay.
So, yeah,
well, that's a good point. Fair.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you and Cup. I'm not gonna let anybody draft Cup either because he's questionable. So yeah, if you were questionable, we try to avoid that.
Okay.
So I won't have to do. I don't want to have to give you a default on Sundays. Unless necessary.
Okay, is Diggs available?
No, Diggs went to Lacey.
Is Diggs? Oh yeah, okay.
Diggs and Justin Jefferson are off the board.
Okay, the ones I want off the board.
Gotcha. Yeah,
right. That's what we'll do. Funny. What we'll do, we'll just go ahead. We'll go ahead and do this. We're gonna get Komet.
Oh, okay. I'll actually like that pick. I like that pick. All right. So I'm actually going to get Devontae Adams at a wide receiver.
All right.
Adams. And I actually like a lot of the quarterbacks this upcoming week because pretty much everybody but Tua is there and available. Because in Lamar Jackson, you got Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I like 3 guys that are left. So that's what I'm not going to get. I'm going to get my running back, and I was going to get, and I'm going to talk to the people, McCaffrey owners. Okay, when I saw that they played the 32nd ranked run defense, and that's why I took McCaffrey. However, Elijah Mitchell severely cut into his carries, and in our scoring format. That is why people might say, John, I don't want that. I'm going to go with a guy that I know is going to get carries. And I'm sorry. I mean, he is, and I said it at the beginning of the show, he is a different person with Matt Ryan at quarterback. But I got to check the schedule, folks. So bear with me. The Colts. Because people know who I'm talking about. But the Colts aren't off this week. Well, never mind. I'm going Derrick Henry. I'm going to get the carries.
Yeah. Okay.
So I pivot. I'm
Thank you,
gonna go with
calculator.
Henry. You're
Taking my
welcome.
running back.
I realized that you would probably take him, so I said I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, we was ready. All right, so the war room has to adjust. It's back to me now, right? So I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and I'm gonna go out on a limb with this pick. As long as he's not injured, I'm gonna go with Kamara this week.
Hey, I think that's a great pick. A bounce back. I mean, what's the chance of him having 3 bad games in a row, right? So I
Right,
don't begrudge him
we're
that.
gonna play the odds
That pick
here.
at all. That's right.
We roll the dice.
And for captain, uh, running back, don't need a running back because Lacey already has it. So he's going to pivot to tight end. The third ranked tight end for this week under our things is actually it's the second rank because you pick Komet, but the second rank per Yahoo is Mark Andrews. So the computer picks Mark Andrews for captain. And so now Lacey's going to fill up her thing. The next available, I'm going to give her Patrick Mahomes. She loves Mahomes, so might as well stay with him. And then her tight end is Goddard, is the last one available for tight ends. All right,
All right.
captain running back. Even though I skipped over McCaffrey, he is the number 2 running back overall per our scoring system. So that's why he will fall in captain's lap. So Mr. 411, you need a wide receiver to round out your 4-person lineup.
Okay, I'm going with the Monday night delight. All right, let's go with Debo.
Hey, I'm not faulting you for that. He is actually he's top 7 in the default rankings, so that's a good pick. And that leaves me. Well, I'm back. All right, folks, and I'm going to make this declaration. I'm going to pick Josh Allen, but I am declaring for all to know if Josh Allen misses the game due to injuries, and I'm not talking about if he gets injured during the game. If he starts the game, he's injured. But my backup is Justin Fields, so I will. I'm declaring that I get Justin Fields if he is hurt. Just because he's the only one that he's not questionable, but I do want Josh Allen if he plays. So that's who I'm going with, Josh Allen. But so I don't have to send a text to 411. That's why I'm declaring on air who my backup is if Josh Allen misses due to injury.
Wow, live for the world to hear, calculator.
Yep.
All right. Well, very good. There it is. We completed the mini draft. We'll see how it all pans out as we all are salivating, ready to get that juicy steak dinner. And so
I can't wait.
That turns out. It's fun to play and it's fun playing the mini.
And like we said, they literally. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to tell you.
Because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it does help with the daily. The daily. It helps people who play daily fantasy.
Because all daily sites, DraftKings, FanDuel, they literally have mini drafts as a contest where you get 3. It goes from 3, 5, 6, all the way up to 9. I think 9. I don't think it's 9. I think it's 8. But and just to let the people know, the format is it's 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flex players. That's usually the standard lineup for your FanDuel and your DraftKings. So this mini draft is we're trying to give you building blocks, and we're trying to give you a certain strategy. Like, hey, if a small group of people have a bunch of quarterbacks, hey, just wait. If you don't need to draft, if everybody has a quarterback, don't draft a quarterback. And that's what I did in my 3-person in this 3-person draft I had. Tua went first, and Patrick Mahomes went second. So you know what? I didn't draft my quarterback to my last pick. Guess what my last pick was, Mr. 4-1? It was Justin Fields. And guess what? Yeah. That's why I did that. I love Justin Fields, but I had a feeling going into the draft, when I looked at the quarterbacks, I'm saying people are going to pick Tua ahead of Fields. People are going to pick Patrick Mahomes over Fields. Heck, nobody was picking Josh Allen, but if he was healthy, he might have, because we were doing this at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I thought, I like Justin Fields. I loved his matchup. That's what you do. You save guys you really think to the end because everybody's going to fill up those positions. So those people just fall to you. So what did I do? I picked Barkley with my first pick. I picked Stephon Diggs with my second pick in a 3-person draft because these people are picking the quarterbacks and they're picking they have to pick up their receivers. So, hey, when I was the number 3 pick, and Patrick Mahomes and Tua went first because I guess they were scared that they weren't going to get him with their next pick. I say, that's fine. I picked Barkley Diggs back to back. Boom. And I was set. And then, boom, I picked Fields. Those 3 people right there pretty much won me the league. So, but yeah, that's how no tight ends. They do not have tight ends in the mini draft. We do the tight ends because we like tight ends. But yes, in mini drafts, the tight end is lumped in with wide receivers for those purposes. So just, I did want to make that clarification.
Yeah, very well, very well. All right, great show, Calculator. We did it again, and we will reconvene next week, same place, same time for the fantasy football show. And man, by then the playoff will start taking even more shape, and we're going to start separating the men for the boys, the women from the girls. So we'll see.
And you know, Mr. For One, that's right. And the reason we say like, subscribe, notify, folks. Last year, if you were on our show, we were the first ones to come out and say, pick up Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny won people championships in the fantasy playoffs last year. He actually won me a championship in my 5-person keeper league. I picked him up on waivers. I wrote him to the fan. He was the highest scoring running back during the fantasy playoffs last year. And you were able to get him on waivers, but you had to get him early.
And guess what, Calculator? There's a player that I have my eye on. And if something breaks through a certain way this upcoming weekend, on Monday, we'll be talking about a player that everybody needs to pick up.
Okay.
If they want to win their league.
That's right.
They better get ready for that.
And they better like, subscribe, and notify, right? Mr. 411, we try to give them the information.
If you want to get it, you said it earlier. You said it earlier. Peoples Jones was on Mr. 411's roster and was in the starting lineup.
And Lacey, she picked up Cole Kmet last second. We noted him on the show, and Cole Kmet brought her a victory this week.
Right, and that's not the last time Lacey's going to do her last.
No, she's not.
And so
she did it to me, Mr. 411. She did it to me. Hawkinson had a career day. That like I said, I was tracking OJ Howard, and it was so glad when he wasn't on the field. And I checked the thing. I said, "How'd she get so far ahead of me? She had T.J. Hawkinson in there, scoring 3 touchdowns. Felt like 3 touchdowns." So,
all right. Okay, well, way to bring it, and people will win their friendly wagers in fantasy football. And if you have friendly wagers week to week in football, tune in Thursday at 6 p.m., 6:05 p.m. to be exact, for Crossing the Lines with the Calculator and Mr. 411.
Oh, and information from Dr. Sachs. Dr. Sachs, man. Dr. Sachs, if people listen to this show, was 3 for 3 on his calls. So Dr. Sachs was he was bringing out some good stuff this past week, and he did. And if people want to tune into the show and just see what Dr. Sachs looks like, he's a man. He's not a myth. He is a legend. But he was on location. Let me tell you, that place, even though we went off air, was rocking because he had a bunch of people coming up asking him for those Thursday night picks. Let me tell you, I thought the sports book was going to kick Dr. Sachs out because he was winning so much people money. But yeah,
all money.
That Thursday night was a good night for Sachs and his crew in the Biloxi sports books.
Yeah, we finally caught him, man. It took years, but we finally caught up with him. And by the way, go to the 411 Sportsworld on YouTube. 411 Sportsworld on YouTube, and you can go back and watch that episode from last Thursday, and you can see for yourself how Dr. Sachs works. And he was all in his element, so you get to see that firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
and we were telling people we're not playing. We really do this.
It's real.
It's real.
It is a real deal. All right. Well, for the Calculator, and I thank the Calculator, I'm Mr. 411. We thank you all for watching and listening, hitting the subscribe, likes, and sharing, because sharing is caring. We will see you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.